A second away, I was doing everything. She got relaxed. I may have squozen them a little bit too hard. And guess what happened for the first time?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Needless to say, we both weren't expecting that to happen. Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a 30-something with a 4-year-old stepdaughter and a pregnant fiance.
And I'm Daniel. I'm a 30-something and I've had kids for a while, ranging from toddlers to teens.
Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Dan, and this is Ramblings of Dadmen. I'm joined once again, and as always, by my good friend Matt. How are you, Matt?
Hello, yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. I had a very busy week this week.
What have you been up to?
Well, I've been in the office. I've left my home office and been into the actual office, surrounded by actual people this week.
Wow.
I was a little bit nervy about going in and being around people. Obviously, everything's still a little bit crazy at the minute, but our team was getting together for a specific event. And you know what? It was actually good. It was a bit of a culture change, but it was an enjoyable experience. We went out for something to eat as a team afterwards. It was nice. It felt normal.
Well, that's kind of good, though, isn't it? I guess in my background, I've worked through art. I've worked all over a bit because I'm a hero. No, I'm not. But we have some quite heavy restrictions and where we work in terms of still having to wear PPE, whereas some companies have just give up everything and it's all business as usual. So it's quite good that I guess that your place is still having some sort of COVID rules and everything's not relaxed.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was controlled when we all went into the office. Everyone had to be temperature checked. Everyone had to have a lateral flow test.
Yeah.
Which I cocked up 3 times. FYI, I have a really bad gag reflex. So that was put to the test. I think long term, this is going to be the norm for a lot of businesses if you can. I appreciate, some industries, you can't do that. You can't exactly serve a pint remotely, can you?
I mean, I'm sure Amazon would try and give it a go. And I would order it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
If Amazon wants to, bring me a pint with a drone,
To be fair, if anyone is going to do it, it is going to be Amazon.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, I know we've kind of built up a little bit of a following, but I think we've disappointed them so far, going in really serious straight away.
What else have I done? I've been for a dog walk. Went back to the hideout, had another cake, but this time swapped up my coffee for a cheeky pint.
Oh, woo. Nice.
Pushing the boss out there. Oh, I tell you what we did do, what was really good. Brought back a lot of memories. Today, I took my nephew to rugby. So it was at the same ground that we used to play at, same team. And I was actually stood with our old coach watching the game because his grandson is in the same team.
When you say old coach, do you mean your dad?
No.
The other one.
Well, I mean, if my dad's grandson was in the team.
So I was like, well, technically.
What are we getting at here? No, so my dad was there, but I was stood with one of our coaches as well, Ricky.
Okay.
So I was chatting to him. So his grandson's in the same team. It was good chatting to him before the match. Just brought back a lot of old memories. But then actually watching the match, I got so engrossed into cheering them on and probably a little bit overzealous, tracking the play. Everyone else was just stood around watching, and I was tracking play up and down the pitch, screaming and shouting, and they scored an absolute blinding try. The guy got the ball, broke 2 tackles. It was running down the wing from sort of halfway, broke through 2 more tackles, and I was jumping up and down. It was like it was a World Cup match. It was really good. Brought back a lot of emotions of when I was playing. I'll not lie to you. I did consider re-signing up for the Open Age or the Masters team.
You're just thinking one more match.
Yeah, but then my back reminded me that, no, you're a 30-something now. That's not going to end well. So I binned that idea off very fast.
The team that I play for at the minute, I really enjoy playing for our team. I'll go visit my mum one weekend or something, and she'll say, have you been playing rugby, you? I'm like, yeah, can you tell? She goes, you need to retire. You need to retire. But it takes you all over the world, this rugby team. I've been to Holland with them. I've been to Dublin with them. So I'm just like, just one more season. However, have got a bit of an hiatus, and I spoke to the coach about it. Funnily enough, 2 days ago, I was like, I've not seen you at training for a little bit. And I said, yeah, I've already spoke to the captain about it. And he says, well, just make sure you come back. So, mate, we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I can imagine watching a game. I very nearly went to watch our third team this morning. I didn't in the end, purely because it'd be like, I just want to play just a little bit more. So I can fully imagine you getting into that spirit where you think, well, I could do this.
It wasn't just watching them play as well. I was semi-tempted to because I was looking at all the strategy and who should run where and who should play where and I'm thinking to myself, do I start coaching? But then I realised that I work 50 hours a week and we spend about 10 hours on this, obviously recording and post and all that lot. Have I got the time? Maybe not. I would love it. And if time permitted, then I probably would give it a shout.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll tell you what I have done that's a little bit scary this week as well. So obviously Callum's in his final year now. I've signed up to take him to some colleges to go and have a look around. College in America obviously being more what we classify as uni.
Yeah, so for our American listeners, colleges are 16 to 18.
It just makes me feel old, to be brutally honest. Again, reiterates that maybe I shouldn't be playing rugby.
Are you going to the same colleges that we went to?
Yeah, we're going to look at Wigan, we're going to look at Winstanley. He's done a few activities like that already. I think it's just a bit of experience for him, really, of just getting a bit of a taster of what college life looks like and what college courses are available.
That's good. And this won't make sense to anybody, but when you go to Winstanley, look out for the tree.
Yeah. Well, that is actually something I will be pointing out to him when we go.
Yeah.
No podmin required for that one. If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. In comparison, my week has been very, very quiet. It's been work, and that's kind of been it, really. Not done much else. Tell you what I have done. Podcast recommendation. I started watching Afterlife.
Oh, there we go. How hooked are you? Have you smashed it all in?
Well, we've not done it all yet. We've got a few episodes of the first series. It's good. I mean, it's miserable. It is. It is, but it's miserable in a funny way, isn't it?
I love it. It is brilliant. I could sit and rewatch that at any point.
The last episode we've got up to is the guy that's hoarded in his house and he's doing Punch and Judy. Yeah. So that's where we're up to.
Well, look out for him in the second series when there's a talent show. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to leave it at that.
See it now. Hopefully, when this goes out, we'll have our brownie competition in as well. So that's going to go out tonight. We found the company that we're going to use. So hopefully, this will make a little bit more sense if you log onto Instagram and give us a follow about how you could win some delicious brownies.
Tasty.
Very tasty.
Okay, before we continue, it's a light podmin this week. I just want to confirm that it isn't actually twins. For anyone who is listening, this is just my theory. It might be twins, but for now, it's confirmed just one baby in there.
Although it's funny you should mention it because this week we've seen had some sort of growth spurt. Yeah, I mean, you've not seen Becky for a couple of weeks now, so let's just say that she's grown significantly.
Would you say she's become twice as hungry?
No, the actual opposite. And this is a grind my gears moment, and maybe something that you could help out on this one, because suddenly she's just stopped fucking eating. Her appetite has generally been quite good, but now later on, certainly this past week or maybe the past 10 days, I'm really having to use the cheese sandwiches as like, this is what's going to happen. So today it was like she was complaining of being hungry. I'm like, well, let's make you something. Let's do something. Well, I don't really want anything. And then the problem is that she works from home as well. So she works from Jimmy logs on about 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit later, depending on if she's done the school run or not. But then she just goes straight into work and she's not eating till like 1 or 2 o'clock.
The best thing to do is just get stuff that's really calorific. Brownies are really good for that. Or nuts, if she's not got nut allergies, flapjacks. And just leave it near her to just let her graze. Before you know it, she's gone through 3 trays of flapjacks.
Funny story you just remembered when you said about a nut allergy. Becky doesn't have a nut allergy, but her sister does. And Becky kind of has our same sense of humour. So for one Christmas present, bought her the biggest bag of nuts you could ever imagine. Like,
How to kill your sister in one easy step.
EpiPen was probably needed then.
I actually didn't get corrected on any of the facts or things that I stated last week.
I too. I think we got away with it.
Perfect episode. Woo! Apart from the fact that it might not be twins.
Yeah, it's just my partner having a go at you and saying, stop saying that. Well, we are week 30 now. The baby is the size of a cucumber and a weight of a bag of muesli. Tomorrow's a very special day.
Rob.
Because there are 69 days to go.
So does that mean that Flossie's going to bed very early tomorrow?
Hopefully I can beat my record, but I'm just getting eye rolls and she's like, I'm at the size where I don't know how I could do that now. Like, how do we do that?
You'd have to get creative. I don't need to buy you a Kama Sutra. Google it. Just go incognito.
So, Becky had a midwife appointment last week and everything was going well. Everything's perfect. But when the midwife measured her and felt her, she was like, the baby is in the right position, already, which is good. That doesn't mean that she's going to be ready to give birth any minute. It just means that it's good that she can get in that position. Yeah. So she's already started learning. So, and as I said, Becky's becoming more and more pregnant by the day. So, yeah, very.
What do you mean more and more pregnant?
Oh,
you keep putting more kids in there.
I mean, you never told me how agitated a pregnant person may get. I am literally the worst person in the world at the minute. Apparently, I'm snoring too much. I'm not allowed to sleep on the couch because I'm too far away, but I'm not allowed to sleep in the bed.
Before we kick into anything else, obviously last week we discussed the hospital bag. Beck does have a bit of a tip, so I'll bring that up in a bit. But I thought it might be interesting just to I brought up a quick checklist, maybe just run through a few things. And it does actually highlight mom, baby, and partner.
All right, okay.
So we can, I'll just flip through a few of these and you can just give us a quick, yeah, no, didn't even think of that.
Okay, this is interesting because we were actually doing like a bit of a list this afternoon. So this is actually quite interesting.
Okay, good. Timely. Copy of your birth plan.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you've done that yet.
Well, we've not done that. I think that's at week 34. So we're a good couple of weeks away from that. But okay. Obviously we'll have that.
Loose and comfortable clothing. This is all for mum, by the way.
Okay.
Flip-flops, toiletries, entertainment, such as a book. So Beck took some magazines. She was not in any state for reading magazines. This was the first and only time I've read a woman's magazine out loud. I had to read what was the latest goings on in Housewives of Cheshire, Towie, all of those, and just keep her up to date. And apparently I learned a lot that day.
Wow.
Snacks and plenty of fluids. So that actually does lead into Beck's tip, which is to take a bottle of water, like a 750ml bottle of water, and freeze it. Freeze the entire thing. We said that was one of the best things that we did for her because it was frozen. Obviously, you couldn't drink it right at the very beginning, but throughout the day, it's like a permanent ice cube inside the bottle of water, and it gives you ice cold water for a good 6 hours. And she said that it was stupidly useful to just have that nice, refreshing cold drink throughout the day.
I mean, is it bad that my first thought was, is this for drinking?
I'm not too sure what else you're going to do with it, but
yeah. Reminds me of that, what's the film, Evolution, where the guy's like, can I have some ice cream? What flavor? Doesn't matter.
It's for my ass. I've not watched that for ages.
Great film.
Okay, any prescription medicines? Here was one that made me laugh. An old towel in the car.
Do you know what? Funny you should mention that because... One of the things I'm going to talk about later is, or I want to ask, is about nesting because I think she's getting there. So at the minute we're doing we order our shopping in every week and it gets delivered on a Saturday. So we've bought a full set of new towels and Becky just wanted spare towels for when she goes to hospital, or whether, obviously the plan is she has a home birth, so obviously that would be avoided, but there'll be lots of towels downstairs. So we have about 15 towels at the minute that are already packed and ready to go.
To be fair, it was not something I'd packed or even thought about, but it makes complete sense because what happens if they go in the car?
Absolutely.
Okay. Comfortable clothing, underwear, and disposable underpants.
Okay.
Maternity pads.
And more than 3 days worth. No, it's more than three. More than
3 stupidly absorbent pads. Nursing pads, eye mask, nursing bras.
An eye mask?
You never know. She might want to get some sleep.
How the fuck is she going to sleep?
I mean, I don't think all of this is just for when she's giving birth. This is the sort of the overnight maybe that she might have to spend in the hospital.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Yeah. An eye mask, though.
I can't imagine her in between contractions going, just pass me that eye mask. I'm just going to catch 20 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. Can I have the cucumbers? I'll just put them just on my eyelids as well.
So yeah, the nursing stuff, the nursing bras and pads, daily essentials, the glasses, contacts, all of that stuff, snacks, cash.
Cash?
Well, that one's repeated actually. So it actually says for mum, cash, and then on the dad bit or partner, it says a copy of the birth plan. So I don't know why you need 2 copies.
Yeah.
For the partner, also snacks and drinks, and also cash for you. It's one that you may not get. Entertainment. Whoever's wrote this was clearly not thinking about. This may have been a bloke in the similar position to you, thinking, I know what I need. I need a copy of that birth plan. I need some snacks for me. I need some money, and I need some entertainment.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to be entertained while she is in pain.
You have to be the entertainment, I guess. You need to keep her.
Oh, no.
Occupied.
There's the exact opposite. There is no such thing as entertainment. It is pure focus, pain relief. I think that's all I can advise you. There's no like dressing up as a clown and doing cartwheels at the end of the bed. None of that shit. I know what'll take the pain away, love. Watch me fall over. Woo! She will not be laughing. She'll call you a dickhead and have you kicked out of the hospital.
That's more than that's what I'm expecting.
A change of clothing for you, okay? Because you don't know how long you might be in for. A camera, because some people photograph the birth and maybe you don't want to go down that end and you just want to get the first picture. I've still got that first picture of Georgia and the first picture of mum and baby. I think everyone's got them on phones these days. The next one was a phone. Toiletries, medication, glasses, and then swimwear for the water birth.
Oh.
So I could just imagine you getting to hospital, having to be rushed there, and water births in your baby plan. Great. Oh, we happen to have a room that's got a water birth pool. So Becky can get in, and then you're getting in. Complete starkers.
I am definitely getting Speedos just because why the hell not?
I can just imagine you walking around a pair of Speedos and flip-flops with one of your brand new towels, just sauntering in and out of the pool whenever you want to dip.
Do you know what? I've got the best kind of swim shorts as well for them. I remember going on holiday a couple of years ago. Let's just say I thought I had a better body than I do. Like I had some sort of body dysmorphia, but the opposite, where I think I look amazing, and got these Daniel Craig style swimming shorts, but they are far too short. Like, I'll wear them and look cool.
I mean, cool's objective, right?
No.
I think this checklist's sort of a bit weak. Mom's got a full page of things. Baby's only got 5 things on this list. Just baby clothes, hat, sock and booties, going home outfit and a blanket, newborn diaper bag, and then a car seat.
What else does baby need? I'm sure there's more stuff there, but is that it? Milk, I guess. Like, when do you start feeding the baby? Do you feed the baby straight away? I assume so.
Yeah, we did. So usually within the first couple of hours, I'd say you do feed, and then obviously, as I mentioned last week, it's sort of every 3 to 4 hours. I think they advise.
It's almost like you don't have time to savor the moment, isn't it? It's like this happens, and now you're a parent.
you've got 10 weeks, mate, and then at best.
Well, there's a couple of things I want to talk about this week, and I want to start off with a bit of a story. So, one of the things that I've been trying to do is trying to help Becky in any way that I can to try and make her a little bit more comfortable. And this week in particular, I guess, because she's growing, she has become noticeably more uncomfortable. You know, she's struggling to get around a bit more. She's needing lifting off the couch, you know, every now and then. It's just trying to help her out in different ways. So let me tell you about my night last night. Becky is, what's the best way to describe her? She's all woman. Is there another way to
At this point, I'm not even going to help you. I'm going to let you dig your own grave. You keep going.
So she was suffering from a bad back. She needed a bit of a rest. So do you know the scene in Ghosts where Patrick Swayze gently cradles round? Is it Demi Moore or is it that whoever's in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
gently.
the pottery scene.
Yeah. Yes, the pottery scene. So there was no pottery, unfortunately. There was some goodies. So I had to spend half an hour just cradling a breast just to give her some support. Okay, so we were in bed. I was sat behind her. She was leaning back, and I was just taking the weight.
Oh,
the fucking heavy things, man. She's a 32 double J, right? They're heavy.
The perks of pregnancy.
Well, here's where it goes wrong. Because I was taking the weight, I was doing everything. She got relaxed. I may have squozed them a little bit too hard. And guess what happened for the first time?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Needless to say, we both weren't expecting that to happen.
Hold on. So I've got this picture in my head now of you actually proper Patrick Swayze and sat behind her. If you were able to notice this, we both sat there naked.
Well, I mean, she was naked. Yeah, she had her top down, and I was like lifting them up to try and give her some kind of. I mean, this is what you do when you're stuck in the house all the time, by the sound of it. But I tried to give her some release, and maybe I gave her too much release. Now, it wasn't much.
Oh my god!
But it was like, yeah, it was just like I guess an experience which was funny, but also things are starting to get real. Did you have anything similar to that? Like when did Beck just come up to you and say, "Oh, I'm leaking now," or like was it just something that straight happened? Now, I don't know if Beck breastfed, but Becky is intending to breastfeed as well, so that was quite an important thing for her.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to catch you out with this one.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. No, Beck didn't breastfeed. I mean, we definitely didn't reenact the Patrick Swayze moment at our house. I didn't get the chance to sit behind her and fondle her bosom.
Oh, it wasn't fondling. There was nothing sexy about it. It was purely
functional,
mechanical. Yeah, like I was told, do not get your ideas. Like, yeah.
You can hold them, but that's it.
Yeah.
For Beck, she didn't breastfeed. There was one occasion she hadn't put the pad in her bra one day. I just noticed that her shirt was very wet, so it was obviously leaking. But other than that, I don't recall anything of that sort. What is concerning me though, obviously she started lactating. The baby's moved in the right direction. You may not be getting to 40 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that thought has come across my mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like you turn on a hose pipe and it was shooting throughout the whole room. Like, it wasn't like that. But it was very visible that something was coming out. And we both had a laugh about it, and it was very, very funny. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the term nesting. So I guess Becky this week has been trying to... It's almost like she's really starting to get into that mother's role in terms of she wants everything safe for the baby. She's trying to prepare in the way that she can by doing little extra cleaning there or starting to knit stuff for the baby. Did Beck ever go through that, and how did you help out with this?
She did experience the nesting thing. So obviously in nature, nesting is building a nest. For mothers, from what I saw from my Beck was very much, it's just cleaning the house to the nth degree. And I did not get in her way. Pity the fool that did.
Yeah.
All the baby clothes got washed. Every room was like we was living in a show home. I specifically remember the kitchen got cleaned, every surface, every day. That means the toaster, all the cutting boards, everything, all off the worktops so they could be cleaned. If there was a crumb on there, you was an absolute arsehole for making a piece of toast and not cleaning up after yourself.
I mean, can I just point out, who cleans the toaster?
Pregnant women. That's it. Pregnant women and people who are selling toasters. Those are the only two people that clean toasters. So she did that, mopping, hoovering, all of that stuff. She wasn't overexerting herself. She was taking her time doing it. But that's sort of a pointer, really, that nesting instinct kicks in the couple of weeks leading up to it.
Oh, really?
From what I saw with Beck, it was a week or two before, really, that everything got cleaned and it stayed clean. And to be fair, it's never really left her since. It almost became habitual. Yeah, where whenever she cleans, she goes gung ho, and I do not get in the way. I've got my delegated jobs that I'm allowed to do.
This is quite funny. It's because at what point did you or do you become a hindrance? Because she doesn't hate me, but I feel like I've been getting on her nerves this week. And I think that's partly because of my personality, maybe. But partly because, she's agitated, she's struggling with the body. And I'm not saying that this surely could be. I'm sure that you've been in this position where Beck could have just punched you in the face just for looking at her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think the worst thing you can do is try. By that, I don't mean try. If you're good at something and you're really good at cleaning, then by all means help. But it has to be perfection. And even then, she'd still probably do it again. That's even the case now. I try and do any cleaning. I try and clean up after I've been making anything. Oh, yeah, well done. It's like, when you congratulate a kid for trying.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of mentality she gives to me when I'm trying to clean up. She's like, oh, well done. Thanks for trying. And then she goes and gets all the cleaning stuff out and then does it again. And I've sat there thinking, like, fuck have I done wrong here? It's clean. I would eat off that surface. What have I missed? I've learned not to question it, and I just sort of accept that I've tried. I'm shit at it.
It was a good effort, Daniel. It was a good effort. Well done. I get the opposite. So I get told to do a job, but beforehand, I get a list by list of everything that I have to do. So today, I didn't just clean the bathroom. I had an itinerary of what I needed to do in the bathroom, how it needed to be done, and in what order. She was like, she didn't trust me enough to clean the bathroom. Or she trusted me enough to clean the bathroom, but it had to be done in her way.
It's like a perfection thing.
Yeah, and then she came and checked on me.
I think you've just hit the nail on the head there, though. She wants it done. She can't do it, but she wants it done in a way that's going to appease her. And that was probably Beck's mentality as well. She wanted something done in her specific way, and if it's not been done in her way, like you haven't moved the toaster and cleaned all the crumbs up from it underneath it, like who the fuck does that anyway? But if you haven't done that, then you've not cleaned, apparently. They've got standards, exceptionally high standards. To them, it's just normal. But for me, it's like a show home.
I honestly was about 28 years old when I found out that a toaster has a slide tray.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely didn't think that was a thing.
Yep. I never use it.
Yeah. No one ever knows how to get it open, but
it's one of them things that you can get it out, but you can never get it back in. It doesn't ever fit properly, does it?
Next time I come round to your house, I'll be checking your slide tray just to see how clean the toaster actually is.
Sail up, buy me some flowers first. I'll be checking my dipstick next.
I can bring the lubricant. There's one other thing that I wanted to chat about. It's not really a serious thing, but, and this is going to sound like I'm a big drinker. I'm really not. Like, a few weeks, every couple of days, I'll have 1 or 2 cans, or I'll probably have about 4 cans a week all in total.
Although you just said every 1 or 2 days, I'll have a couple of cans. So potentially that's every day you have a couple of cans.
every one of them. No, I don't. I don't. I probably have 4 cans of beer a week. My point is, at some point, I won't be able to drive. So I went to the shop yesterday and I thought, should I grab 4 cans for this weekend or something like that? And like, because I'm going all out and mad for it. And Becky was like, well, you might as well now because you're going to have to give up drinking at some point. And I thought, well, that's actually really, really true. At what point you start saying, I need to be on call just in case anything happens kind of thing, in terms of, did you have a conscious effort or did you just wing it, or did you... I mean, I've just got this image in my head that Becky goes into labour and she ends up having to drive herself.
Or get a taxi. Well,
Yeah.
I love the Uber's on the way. Just keep it in.
But we live in Wigan, so it's an hour and a half away.
Let me just go and grab that bag. What do you say needs to be in it? I'm feeling really calm at this point.
Yeah. We'll walk it, love. It's fine. It's only 10 minutes.
Get on my back. Come on. Hey. She'd hate you forever. Yeah, obviously, early days, I abused that very much like you did.
Well, this is the thing as well, because it's been free taxi rides for 6.5, 7 months, and it's been nice.
It was. To be fair, I'm not a big drinker like you. I don't drink a lot. But she green-lighted me on a lot of social occasions. So back when, pre-COVID, when she was pregnant with Georgia, we had a Christmas and various occasions like Valentine's Day. It looked really weird that Valentine's Day because we went out and I was getting absolutely hammered and she was driving. She was on the fake cocktails, on the mocktails.
Mocktails.
I think towards the end, yes, I did get sensible. Because I'm not a big drinker, I can sort of take it or leave it. I've actually said to her that I could very easily go teetotal and it would not bother me. Apparently that's not socially acceptable these days. And apparently I'm more fun when I've had a drink. So yeah, no, we did obviously be a bit more sensible towards the end. What was funny though, obviously because Beck hadn't drank throughout the entirety of her pregnancy, one of the very first things that we did when we got home, we sort of put Georgia down. We had that moment of what do we do now? I just said to her, like, fancy a bottle of beer. So like, ooh, I can drink again now. So I cracked open a couple of bottles of beer, just 1 bottle each, and she just didn't want to drink it. She said it felt weird because she'd trained herself to not want to drink for so long. It felt as though she was being naughty or cheating by having this 1 bottle of beer, even a drink out of it. Naturally, she no longer suffers from that problem and she will happily drink until she can't speak properly.
Yeah, I don't think Becky's ever going to struggle with that either. Obviously, we met drunk, and like the first ever part of a relationship usually is that you're going to go out and have a few drinks. And because we couldn't go out because of lockdown, we generally had a few drinks at her house or a few drinks at my house at the time. But now, in fairness, all throughout the pregnancy, she hasn't touched a drop. She had the smallest sip of gin to try and throw someone off the scent that she was pregnant, like gin and tonic of it. It wasn't just straight old gin. She's not a fucking sadist. But apart from that, she's been completely teetotal. Funny enough, before the pregnancy, she hated beer or didn't like drinking beer, but she's kind of got the taste to non-alcoholic beer, so she'll have one of them every now and then. And I think it's kind of helped her with that almost placebo effect, I guess, because sometimes you have a stressful day at work and you have a beer or you have a glass of wine. So I guess that's kind of helped her. So I do not for 1 second think Becky's going to feel guilty about drinking in the slightest.
Something quite interesting, though, was Beck's palate changed completely after she'd given birth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know if this is like a natural phenomenon, if this happens to a lot of pregnant women, but she's still not fully recovered from it. So she used to, every morning religiously, cup of coffee. As she was pregnant, she hated the smell of coffee.
Wow.
It just repulsed her, so she couldn't drink coffee at all. And now she very rarely drinks it. She does have the occasional one, but she definitely cannot touch it first thing in the morning. So she drinks cups of tea now.
Do you know what? That's really, really interesting, because Becky was always a coffee in the morning kind of thing. She'd have a strong coffee, or she'd make her own iced coffee, and she'll have like a large iced coffee before she started work. But now she has occasional coffee, but she's more of a tea drinker now.
Mm.
Like, that's quite strange. And she never touched tea before. I mean, I might have had some influence because I like a cup of tea, but She never touched it before she was pregnant.
Okay, we'll monitor that then. See what
Yeah.
you can feed. You can update me on post pregnancy or postpartum, as the official term.
Yeah. Yeah. I assure you it will be gin. Like
gin first thing of the morning.
Her choice will be gin. Yeah, especially for the first few months. No doubt. No, that's not fair. That's she wouldn't. She might.
She's got to put up with you and a baby. And
yeah, exactly.
I know I would. Well, I think we've rambled on for enough this week. Yeah, I don't think there's much else we can say at that point.
I don't think so. Apart from the title for this this show, surely has something to do with I don't know, Swayze tits or something like that. like there's got to be some like unique selling point around that.
Yeah. There's something to do with Ghost.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, yeah. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, everyone.